Namaste. Hi there, beautiful soul. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sadhana. I'm an intuitive reader and healer, and today is my Friday tarot chat. And I thought today that I would play off Kasia of Tarot Map, the prompt that I believe she put up a couple of days ago. This is the re-energizing of a tag that she did some years back. And the tag is hello again, I believe. Hello again, tarot. I am just going to go to my YouTube page. Hello again, tarot challenge. Kasia is such a lovely creator, YouTube creator, content creator, and if you do not follow her channel, please be sure to check out her channel. She's got some really amazing content, and I've been following her for some time. The original video is linked in the description box below, and there's already several people that have responded to the tarot challenge. It's a short, brief challenge, 3 prompts, and I'm going to talk about a few different decks today, as well as other things that are going on in my channel. So welcome, happy Friday, long weekend in Canada, Labor Day weekend, and I'm going to be around, hopefully enjoying my garden and a few other things like that, getting outdoors. Yeah. So let me know what you're doing, and if you have a holiday this weekend and you're in a different part of the world, let us know that as well too. I want to say welcome to all the new members. I really, really appreciate your support of my channel. And I see Susan Fitcher has joined. So welcome to Susan Fitcher, new member. And several of you joined at the Rose Quartz level. And so the people that joined at the Rose Quartz level, I think what I want to do is to make a separate video and to talk about how we're going to set up your personal check-ins. So for the people that joined at that level, they get a 15-minute private check-in each month. And I just want to kind of streamline that and set that up so you know exactly how that works. So please know that is coming up. And I want to say welcome to everyone that is here. Hannah Dancing Soul Sister, namaste, and welcome. Welcome to Elena. Lovely to have you here. Joel, namaste. Welcome, welcome. I love sharing decks. I really do. And as you know, I tend to I don't know, I've just found that over the last couple of years that the more I play, the more I work, the more content I create, it's just, I love working my decks. My decks, I don't consider a collection, I consider a library, and I just love using them. And I've really slowed down on the acquiring part. I still acquire new decks, trying to be a little more discriminating. But yeah, working and playing with my decks, I get so much joy out of that. And Elena asked a question about the symbol behind everybody's name. Was that Elena? And I will answer that question. So what does the symbol behind all your names mean? And is that a membership symbol? So yes, so new members have a root chakra symbol beside their name. And after you've been a member a month, then that symbol will automatically change. And the longer you're a member, so the member, I believe the symbols change 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, or something like that. So yeah, so that's what those symbols are. And also the members have access to special emojis. And I've created the first 6. I've yet to create the next ones. Let's see if I still have that screen. I believe I do. So these are the emojis that I created for the members. And if you type in those words, I can't highlight them. There you go. So there are those. If you type in those words and you are a member, then you have access to those six emojis. So it's kind of fun. Yeah. So that's what that means, Elena. And there are now, I believe, 3 members only videos on my channel, and there's a playlist for that on my page. So now we have to remove that. Okay. And I want to go back to your comments before I get started here. Okay. Labor Day in the States too. Hello there, Liz. Welcome. And Idge, hello. So nice to catch you live, to have you here live with me. Lovely. What does Lily say? Lydia, this weekend, tomorrow, I go in center to purchase clothes for your new job. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Oh, just like the Three of Cups. Yeah, isn't it nice when you can bring the tarot to life? That's beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Yes, I believe I did 2 membership videos, and so you can catch up with those and learn a little bit about all of that. And oh yes, Joel was telling us about this, I believe, on Tuesday, going to a boutique, a metaphysical or a hippie style boutique. I hope you land the job as well too. It sounded like it's something you really, really wanted to do. So welcome. All right, I did not create banners for the prompts. There's only 3 of them. They are in the description box below. And the first prompt is hello again. Hello again. This is a deck that you fell in love with and started using again. So how I want to approach this is a little bit different. Where am I going to begin? So my Hello Again deck is the 5 cent tarot. And when I saw Madame Clara, it's so funny because Madame Clara is actually he. I don't know if they go by they, I'll use they. So Madame Clara did a Kickstarter, I believe, or a pre-order for the 2 penny oracle. And I thought, how lovely to have an oracle deck to match the 5 cent tarot. And so this took quite a while to come together. And I decided to pre-order the 2 penny oracle. And one of the reasons I didn't hesitate to purchase it was, one, the quality of the 5 cent tarot is really good. And also the keywords are really, really clever. I haven't fallen in love with the artwork of the 5 cent tarot, which we're going to look at in a bit. But there's something about the cleverness of it that always intrigued me. And I found very much that the 5 cent tarot, so this is the one I'm going to talk about, worked really well with career readings. And I don't know if that was just my bias that had to do with the title of the deck. But anyway, I'm revisiting it because since then I have acquired the 2 penny oracle, and I can put up, if you want, I can split the screen. I know it's easier to see the cards this way. So this is the box for the 2 penny oracle. And I'm going to tell you a funny story. So I'm not going to do a full walkthrough of this, but I will share this with you. It has this lovely bronze edge, and I think there was a couple of choices for the different colors you could get for the edging. And they're quite small. So for those of you that have the Kim Kranz round deck, this is the size that there are. They're quite little, so they're super easy to shuffle. Anyway, again, we have a deck that is, I'm going to say that card and talk about it, that is just really full of, I'm leaning way over, my camera's quite far away today. It's full of cleverness, and I love the words that are chosen, and I've been playing with this a little bit, and I'm gonna have some fun with this deck. I mean, it's just, the words are brilliant. I love language. I really love language. There we go. So what I wanted to share with you was that as I was preparing and talking about the Color With Me series that I have started, I was shuffling this deck and I thought, what word do I need to focus on? And I swear I'm not making this up. This is the card that came up. And I was like, are you kidding me? And so I left this card out on the table and I thought, okay, you cannot make up these synchronicities. It's just really, really beautiful. And I also love that in this deck, there's a few words that I've never heard of before. And so this particular oracle, I'm going to continue to work with and enjoy. Sorry, there is a glitch of some sort there, and I can hear Amber growling in the background as well too. So this deck that I'm calling Hello Again, the 5 cent. So the 5 cent comes in this beautiful clamshell box, and I believe mine is the second edition. I was not in on the first kick at the can. And one of the reasons that I'm coming back to this deck was because I received the 2-penny oracle. I want to make sure I get these right. So the tarot is called the 5 cent. The oracle is called the 2-penny. And because I am teaching so much tarot, this particular deck, I really wanted to just use it as a reference to check in with the keywords that Madame Clara is using. Yes, so when I ordered, again, when I ordered this deck, I chose the lavender edges. And so these are the backs of the cards. And I think you could choose, there was a green choice, and I just chose purple because purple is my thing. Anyway, so let's just look at a few of these and talk about them because there's some real brilliance here. This is the Queen of Swords, right? The Queen of Needles. And the keyword on the top is clear of mind and honest. So those are the upright keywords. And then you can look to one of the things I haven't done with this deck is to connect to the animals and to really focus on the animals. So that is my intention in the Hello Again energy, is to spend more time connecting with the animals and the little details that are in the cards, because I certainly didn't do that before. So down in the bottom, it's just beautiful. And so we also have reverse. So cold apart is the reverse keyword, and critical and narrow mind. And another upward one is unbiased. So I always found these keywords really, really brilliant. Yeah. Okay, so the next one is the Ace of Buttons. I love the suit names as well too, they're pretty clever. The Ace of Buttons has a bunny, a hare, I'm gonna say. It almost looks like a slinky is in the middle. And the keyword is opportunity, fertility, prosperity. And there's what's pictured here is invention. There's some kind of an invention. And again, I want to take my time and go back and look at the details of the artwork in each of these cards. Okay, so here's the 7 of matches. So 7 of matches, just think about 7 of matches, 7 of wands, right? Conviction is the main keyword, conviction. And then perseverance and protection. And one of the things that I like to talk about with the 7 of wands energy is the need sometimes to create that wall. And I like to look when the 7 of wands, 7 of matches energy comes up, is to see if there's other walls of protection. And also talk about the fact that this is necessary now, but it's not something that necessarily needs to hang around for a long time. Here's the world card. And we have a snake. We have a snake, multiple snakes. We have an Ouroboros. We have the lemniscate in the red ribbon. I'll put it down in a second. Teacup is full. Completion and what other positive words? Harmony and triumph. And then the reverse words are unfulfillment, stunted growth, and emptiness. And this one has a lot more color on it than a lot of the cards do. And I really like that, the contrast of color, the red, the green. And I think one of the reasons that I didn't spend a lot of time with this deck is because it's going to take some time to look at the level of detail that was put into this card, into this deck. Yeah, it shuffles beautifully. It's really amazing card stock. Let's do a couple more. So 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is family, bliss, harmony, well-being. And I like that keyword, well-being. Upside down is dysfunction. And I'm not sure which bird is here. There's a family of birds. We do have cups. There is energy coming out of the cups. And some of the cards, there is more to examine than others. Like there's little tiny words hidden in things, and you almost need a magnifying glass to look at them. Yeah. 8 of Needles. So 8 of Swords. The main keyword is imprisonment, self-victim, entrapment. Upside down, self-acceptance. I just, one of the reasons that this deck feels important in my library is that when I'm doing a reading there's a couple of reasons I like this deck, but one is when I'm doing a reading with a student who is fairly new to tarot, and they can actually see the keywords themselves and go, yes, that's what this means. And so look at the animal here. I'm actually going to go to the little tiny guidebook. The guidebook with this isn't great, and I'm not sure if there was a PDF that was more detailed. So this is 8 of Needles. 8 of Needles. Okay, so yes, he does name the creature that is illustrated. The blind and bound mole, the blind and bound mole, seemingly incapacitated and limited, is adequately equipped and actually quite capable of using her intuition and other senses to escape the guilt or fears that bind her. It's very clever. It's very cleverly written. The card is a call to free ourselves from the self-inflicted shackles and limiting thoughts. The 8 of Needles assures you there is a way out of your current predicament. You just need a new perspective. So this is the little white book. So the descriptions are really short. It's just a tiny, tiny little thing. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to keeping this deck out, and it's just what I want to keep on my little rack. I have this rack here, and I have a couple of them, but I don't have space to have 2 right beside me. And so I just, and then I have a whole bunch of decks down here. I've actually got some decks behind. It seems like the more decks I work with, the more decks I want to work with. And I like having my decks handy and not fussing with them, taking out of boxes and so forth when I'm teaching or doing readings. Yeah. So it's a privilege. It's definitely a privilege, and I feel very grateful. I feel really grateful for this. Yeah. The shifting color in the background in the 5 cent is subtle. The shifting color which I haven't really looked at. So this is the 5 cent, right? So the background's this all kind of soft green color. If I were to reorder this deck, had I known the palette on the front was so green, I probably would have ordered the green backs and the green sides. I think it would go really, really nicely together. And I'm not even sure what colors are available now. And so you go to Madame Clara's Etsy shop, and that's where you purchase all these things. I'll put links down below later in case you can't find what you're looking for. So I was just going to show you. So on these ones, oh, let's go here again. On these ones, like, so that one's a soft pink, soft green. The colors change. Yeah. And I'll show you, they shuffle. They're super easy to shuffle. I know some people have issues with round decks, but this one, I love the edges. This one shuffles super easily. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So that's my hello again. Hello again. The next prompt, let me just check in with what. So pretty. You're talking about the lavender edges. Lady Anne says, I think of a song, Upside Down, Inside Out. Don't know why. I want to dance now. Yeah, it's like, I appreciate cleverness. And, you know, the more thought that a deck creator puts in this, to me, there's nothing more annoying than a deck that's put together and there's no justification for the changes. You know, I want to know why they did what they did. I want to understand their cleverness and get into their head, because I believe that we can learn so much from different creators. And if we can get into their headspace, maybe a whole new world is opened up in just one card in a deck. And to me, that's important. And I love to share all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay. So should we go on to the next one? So number 2. There's only 3 prompts here. The second one is getting to know you better. Show us a deck that you have been working on already and is still around. Okay. Well, you know, there's a bunch of them, and I'm going to talk about 2 of them because they've come back onto my table lately after I take a sip of coffee. So one of them, and I had it out for a long time, and then I put it away, is the Dark Goddess Tarot. And I find this is it's a very clever deck. And I'm going to tell you, what is this one? Getting to know you better. Yes, getting to know you better. I need to find a bag for this one. And also, do you know this? This is almost embarrassing. One of the reasons I put the deck away is it's a little thick to shuffle, and I love shuffling. And it's unfortunately, it's not. I mean, it's a magnetic closing box. I think it's a smaller publisher. Lorenzi Prince is the publisher. So first of all, I need to get a bag, and second of all, what I would like to do, if I could, is to find an indie version of the deck, because apparently the cardstock, the way that it handles, is so much better. So if anybody has a self-published version of this deck that they don't like, I would like to buy it from you. That's what I would like to do. Okay, so the Dark Goddess Tarot. This tarot deck, which way should I go? When I was doing Oyas Girls Challenge in December. So this was the 7 prompts for, I was going to say for Kwanzaa. Sorry, Kwanzaa. This is a deck that I worked with a little bit during that time. And there's something about the energy of, I feel like a lot of the goddesses are matched really beautifully. And then the title, if you don't know this deck, the title Dark Don't be deterred by that description. This is the goddess tarot, the goddess in all her forms. She is full of wisdom and energy and magic. And this does not mean that there's 78 dark entities hiding in this deck. I think that's a misnomer. It could have a completely different name, but what it does is it really embraces the energy of the goddess internationally, all over the world. It brings in so many cultures. It's very well done. And the goddesses that I am familiar with, hello Andrew, namaste, welcome. Yes, and Kali, I hope you're enjoying working with Kali. I drew a card for Andrew Wednesday night, and he drew Kali, and Kali is on the Tower card in this deck, which is called the Destruction. Dancing Soul Sister says Freya, and Lakshmi. Yes, so let's look at some of these cards, and I also want to share with you. So one of the reasons that I want to work with this deck more is that there is suggested medicine for each of the goddesses. And there's a small section below the description. And this reminds me a little bit of the Herb Crafter's Tarot. In the Herb Crafter's Tarot, you get instructions for medicine and working with the goddess. Amber is growling over there. Amber, please don't growl. And so to me, this is very potent. Can you see? There we go. When Spider Woman appears, I can't read it from where I'm sitting, but you can read a sentence or two. And some of them have magic. Some of them have medicine. Some of them have ritual. And to me, this is the jewel of this guidebook. Yeah. And like all goddess guidebooks, this is for me a jumping off point to deepen my study with that particular goddess. And I don't think I ever will use this tarot to do a huge spread. I really don't, because I think we need to understand the energy of the goddesses. This is not just about the Chariot card here. At least the way that I work, I have done a lot of work with the energy of Shakti and various, many of the Mahavidyas, different goddess energy. But especially the ones that I don't know, I don't want to do just a superficial reading and then not understand the energy of the medicine. And some of the artwork is really you can read it intuitively as well too, if you don't understand. But there's a lot of wisdom in this deck. So the Four of Earth is the Sphinx. And if you think of the energy of tombs and the catacombs beneath the pyramids and the cold air, the condensation of the air and the stuffiness, when you walk into a place that's been closed up for years and you have that stale air smell. So the things that this deck evokes are really interesting. But then you think also of the brilliance of the Sphinx standing over these catacombs, right? It's very, very well done. Okay, and there's Maeve, Seven of Water. And it's funny because I have my own associations for many of these aspects of, I'll say, Shakti, and I love what I learn from this guidebook. And so I don't want to put this away. I want to incorporate this into a personal practice, perhaps much like what I'm doing with the Wild Unknown Archetype deck, and that is drawing a card once a week. I think once a day is too much. It's hard to get to know a deck when you don't take your time with it. And even knowing some of the stories of Isis, the energy of Isis. I wouldn't want to rush through this card. I'd want to read various iterations of the myths and then go deeper into some of the symbols and the medicine that is suggested in the guidebook. So this prompt is getting to know you better. And I've already done work with many of these cards, but I really do want to get to know this deck better. And I guess the question is, if I got to know this deck to a certain point where I felt comfortable with all 78 cards, would I use this in a larger spread? Don't know the answer to that question. Don't know. Yeah. And okay, so here's another thing that I like to do. So our Ariane Rod, I would, if this card came up, I would probably go and pull out the Llewellyn Tarot and go back to Anna Maria Ferguson's stories that she has shared about Ariane Rod, and to bring different decks together so I could really, you know, because there's a saturation point, at least in my brain, with different with the number of myths and the number of the number of goddesses in the various pantheons of many cultures. So in this deck, instead of prince, princess, queen, and king, the queens are called witches, and the knights are called Amazon, I believe. No, that's not right. The pages are Amazon. The knights are sirens, the queens are witches, and the kings are hags. The other deck that I find works really well with this is the Weaver's Oracle. So it's kind of cool to pull in a Weaver's card with this. And then, so the Sheila Nagig makes an appearance in decks like Wildwood Tarot. So in the Wildwood, I know we have some Sheila Nagig energy, and so pulling out those cards, I think it might be on the Empress card. And I really like to tie together these stories and so forth. You guys are so quiet in the chat today. Is anybody there? So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to spending a little bit more time with this one. How many of you have the Weaver's Oracle? Let me know. And the Weaver's Oracle, with this one, the Weaver's Oracle also works really well with Dust to Onyx. And I use Weaver's Oracle with past life readings as well, too. Yeah. Okay. So the third prompt, let me go and find that. Third prompt is just listening to you. Okay, good to know that you're there. Pleased to meet you. Show us a new arrival or a deck that you haven't had a chance to work with yet. And it is my pleasure to show you a new arrival that oh, good, you are here. Nice to have you here. So, Well-Tempered Claire. So, Well-Tempered Claire's name is Andrew. And I purchased this deck because of Mr. Andrew. And I'm going to try to find the box for you because it's still on my table. Now, there's a few reasons why I purchased this deck. One is that the creator is Canadian, and I think I don't even know, like, I'm not really a nationalist, but there's something about supporting your country, you know, supporting creators from your own country. This is the box that it comes in. This is a 130 card deck. 130 cards. And I'm going to show you how this is organized. Yes, I finally got it. I am so happy that I got it, and I'm going to share with you a few things that I really like. This is a two-part box. The deck is going to, I think it's going to go in bags because it's just it's a box like this. So I'm going to put it in bags, and I need to figure out how I'm going to work with it. So let me share with you a few things. All right. Oh, I shuffled it. Oh, well. All right. So we'll look at specific cards. So the major arcana is the suit of trees. So the suit of, I just want to talk about the dark goddess. Let's go back. So I just want to finish the chat on the previous deck. Joel really wants the Weaver's Oracle. Alina doesn't have the Weavers, but has the Wisdom Keepers deck. Yeah, and the Wisdom Keepers, if you work with Richard Rudd's work, is such a beautiful integration with that. Or there's a few different systems. Wisdom Keepers is full of knowledge. And also you can also, if you are a yogi and you understand the energy of Siddhi, it's an amazing deck to work with. I also use Wisdom Keepers with past life readings too. Jessica, hi Jessica. Jessica from Australia. Namaste. Once a month, I agree. Once a month is plenty with that deck. Okay, and Altvox. The Dark Goddess is only one of two decks that you have backup copies, but does that mean you don't have but I have the indie. Do you mean I don't have the indie? Mm. I'm going to say no, Joel. I'm going to say no to that question. I don't think so. I mean, you can disagree with me, others of you in the chat, but have I done a video with Oracle decks to pair with RWS? I'm not sure. I feel like the RWS is too cultural centric, right? It's very Eurocentric in its original, the way it's originally drawn. So I would no. But that's just me. And perhaps you do have the indie edition. Okay, you do. So you know about, okay. So can you please confirm that the cardstock for the indie edition is easier to work with? So that if I go out on a search for an indie edition, that it would be worth my investment? I would love to have that information. Thank you. Oh, you have 2 copies of the indie edition, one for backup, which is rare for me to have 2 copies. Okay. Thank you for that. And I'm not using your name because I wrote it down and I don't have my list with me, and I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Yours is one of the more recent ones that I actually wrote down your name. So if you want to type it again in the chat, maybe it'll implant into my brain. Thank you. Donna, namaste. Awesome. Thank you for being here. Okay, so let's go back to this botanical deck. The major arcana is the suit of trees. And I have shuffled. This is not organized. The emperor is oak. And here's the empress. The empress is birch. I'll see if I can find you a couple from each suit. There's an extra card too. So this is a 79 card tarot deck, which comes with a bunch of herbs as well. And Jessica has described this is the tower. The tower is Manchineel. I'm not familiar with this tree. And so there's a theme. The eucalyptus is temperance. Look at this pretty card. The suicide tree, which I don't know, is death. And this is a tree. The arbutus is native to where I live. I love that. That's a beautiful choice for the hanged man. The money tree. I used to have a money tree, which I wasn't able to keep it alive, is the Wheel of Fortune. So the major arcana, there's a cleverness to this deck as well, too. Yeah. Oh, Amy, thank you. Yes, now, okay, so Amy's talking about those colors. Yes, Druidcraft Animal. That would be a really nice combination. Thank you, Amy. You've got a better memory than I do. I use the RWS the Centennial so infrequently, and when I'm teaching, I don't tend to use the there's the Hermit, the Sequoia. When I'm teaching, I don't tend to do pairings when I'm teaching. Okay, so now let's go to the wands. And so the wands are the suit of spices. Yeah, spices. The ace of spices is vanilla. I don't know. It's kind of this really appeals to me. Okay, let me find you another spice. Sesame is the 3, and I'll read you the guidebook just so you know. Let me put out one more spice, and then I'll read for you. Cayenne. Guess which one cayenne is? What number? Cayenne is the 5. So why don't I read to you about vanilla? Vanilla. So vanilla here. Vanilla is the ace of spices, so the ace of wands. Okay, so let's go to that. Ace of spices. The knight of spices is saffron. I love that. The queen of spices is cardamom. I know that just reminds me so much of chai tea. Chai, like really good chai tea. Okay, where are you? Ace of spices. Spices are an aromatic part of a plant, usually the seeds, roots, bark, or bulbs that have been dried and used as flavoring for foods. Often pungent and powerful, spices add energy and excitement to the food we eat. The ace of spices, vanilla, the keywords are inspiration, energy, and beginnings. Vanilla is the most popular flavor in the world. It works as a standalone for flavoring its scent, as well as a base for enhancing other flavors. Vanilla is the second most expensive spice in the world. Fun fact, the vanilla plant is actually an orchid and one of the very few orchids that produce fruit. So the descriptions are really short, but they may help you. And as Jessica is not a botanist, that's one of the things she says out front. But she enjoys plants and plant medicine. Okay, so the suit of cups is the suit of flowers. The passion flower is the 7. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm going back to that. So bamboo is the chariot. And I like that. You know, bamboo grows quickly. It's easily renewable. That really appeals to my sensibility. Lilac, oh my goodness. Lilac is the 6. So the 6 of cups, the beauty, the harmony. And I also think of lilacs. My mother had lilacs in her yard, and it reminds me of a slower time, actually. It reminds me of cutting flowers and taking them to the teacher. Yeah. So I am holding 78 cards. I am not holding all 180 cards. The Five of Flowers is anemone. Let's do a couple more cups here. And it's interesting, the hibiscus is colored orange. Hibiscus is the 9 of flowers. The Page of Flowers is primrose, spring flower. That makes sense to me. So I'm looking forward actually to going through the court cards and seeing if there's a seasonal association as well too. Yeah. Childhood in Russia. Yeah. Let's go. There is no color on the edge, so that helps keep it soft, I think. I think you're talking about Shuffling the Dark Goddess. That might be the one you're talking about. Okay, so spices for the wands, flowers for the cups, trees for the majors, swords for those of you that don't have the deck. Can you guess what swords might be in the plant, in the botanics? Cacti. Cacti. I was just looking at the 7 of Spice, ginger. That works really well for me. Okay, so the rose cactus is the page. I'm going to have to study some of these cacti because some of them I've never heard of before. The old lady is the queen. My grandmother, it's so funny. My grandmother used to have these all over her windowsill. The elephant cacti is the king. I hope I can find the one. There's this one cacti that looks like candy. It has all kinds of little tiny flowers all over it. I don't know this one. Silver torch is 2. And the first time I saw it was in the Honolulu Zoo. And I took so many photos of it. I was just mesmerized by it. I think it's this one. Maybe. The fire barrel cacti. This is the 10. It might be that one. I'm going to look it up on as I'm working through this deck. So that's the suit of, what did I say? Cacti, suit of swords. And then for the suit of pentacles, this it's crops. It's crops. So yeah, this makes perfect sense to me. There's one extra card. That's the unknown card. It's called Seed Pod. And breadfruit. Breadfruit is the 6. And some of these the page is strawberry. Pomegranate is the 10. Isn't that interesting that pomegranate is the 10 of crops? Okay, so crops refers to the earth, right? That which we get out of the earth. Okay, so those are the first 79 cards in this deck. And then there's this whole other stack of cards. So whatever 130 minus 79 is, and I have, because 130. So there are 10 in the rest of the suits, plus there's an extra card, which is just one card in the suit. And the way that this oracle is organized, I can just think of so many different ways to be using this. So there is the suit of herbs, And so there's ace through 10 in the suit of herbs. And there's the suit of carnivorous plants, the suit of mushrooms, that's carnivorous, the suit of medicines, there's herbs, There is the suit of poisons. And another thing that Jessica acknowledged in the guidebook was that, yes, not every botanical fits cleanly into only one category. Some of them could easily fit into other categories. Are there geraniums? I will have to check and see if there are geraniums. Yeah, so do we have mushrooms already? Yes, we have mushrooms. Mushrooms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 suits. Medicines. Poisons. I think those are the 5 suits. And then there's one other card. I'll see if I can find it for you. Mushrooms, carnivorous, medicines. And these are really lovely cardstock. Yeah. So there's one extra card, and perhaps eventually Jessica will make another small deck, and that is another suit called Tea. And what is offered in this deck is the Ace of Tea, and you only get the Ace of Tea. Isn't this, so where's the carnivorous pile? That, I like that one, that's really cool. Okay, so I'll show you the Ace of Tea if I can find it. Yes, so I have a feeling in her, perhaps in their, you know, continuing to grow and build her decks, right? So she's offered the Ace of Tea, so maybe there will be a whole other deck that includes all of the tea stuff. Donna just looked up Machiniel. I think it was that name. Oh, wow. It's considered North America's most poisonous plant. Interesting. So Jessica has several different decks. This is another one of hers that I purchased. It's a tiny little deck. I also have another small oracle deck of hers. What I don't have is the idiosyncratic deck. That's one that I missed out on getting. And I'm not a tremendous fan of vector art, but I do like my plant oracles, and there's something really clever about this one. So yeah, so that is my third prompt. It is pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you. Show us a new arrival or deck you haven't had a chance to work with yet. Okay. So I have 2 other new things on my table. Do you want to see what they are? I've if you follow me a lot, you will have seen these already. And I want to thank you. I did not have a deck from Claire Mack, and you recommended, so I was doing the live deck combos, and this deck was recommended over and over and over again. Claire has another, it's called the Faceted Garden, I believe, but I decided to order this one. This is the older one because so many people had recommended it, and it came really quickly. I'm in Canada. It comes from the US. It's amazing cardstock. Love the backs. And the thing about this deck is that it is one of those decks that you cannot possibly understand its impact without having it in hand. The artwork has a 3-dimensionality to it. And the keywords are so clever. They are so clever. You know, it almost has a feel of the Tildwick Tarot. I wonder what it would look like paired with the Tildwick Tarot. So this new oracle is sitting on my desk, and it's just incredibly beautiful. And I have a feeling this will be my new go-to oracle deck. Previously, I'm going to say connected and free. was definitely my main go-to oracle deck. This one is amazing, and it's got such a beautiful range of keywords. And the only other new deck on my desk is because I'm doing the Marielle series. Because I'm doing that series, I kind of needed to have the second edition, which I didn't have. And the second edition, I didn't realize, maybe I just didn't watch anybody's walkthroughs, is tiny. I guess because the borders, it's only slightly, because there's no borders, it's a tiny card. So they're smaller than tarot size. The artwork is, and the artwork, I don't know if you can see the card underneath. So the artwork in the first edition is a little bit more elongated. And I trimmed my first edition this way because I like the length of the cards. So yeah, so I am, I'm not going to use this deck other than to use it for the extra cards, which the cards that were changed. Maybe, I don't know. The card stock is very, very thin compared to the first edition. Because I really, it's the same kind of thing, right? Yes, I could have just enlarged the image of the new High Priestess and looked at it in contrast with the old High Priestess when we get to talking about that card, but there's something about having the card in hand. So yeah. So this is also on my table. So those are the new decks on my table. Yeah, if you can call the Marielle, it's not really a new deck. It's been on my table for a long time. Elena's studying the Marielle now. So I did, there's a members only series that I just started, and that's Wednesday nights, 4 p.m. Pacific. So if you join at the citrine level, you have access to those videos. For those of you that I know one of you didn't actually get on to that Marielle video, you couldn't find it. So just as a reminder, there's 2 ways or more to find the members only videos, to find the links for them if you don't get a notification. So one is to go to the community tab on my page. And if you scroll down on the community tab, there are posts that will take you to the members only videos. For the card comparison series, if you go to my page and you scroll down, there's a playlist on the front page for the card comparison series. And the first 17 videos are public, and then from 18 onward, they are members only. And so you will be able to see that. There's also a playlist of past members only videos at the top of my page. And if you're looking for the Marielle playlist, you have to go to the playlist page. So listen to this. YouTube doesn't make this easy. When you go to the playlist page, you only see a few of my playlists. But if you go to the tab that says created playlists and you select created playlists, then all of my playlists will pop up. And then you should be able to see the Marielle playlist there. Okay, bit of a, I don't know. It's funny how it's set up that way. So I hope that helps. Tomorrow I am on with Gerald and Anna. I'm doing live readings with, I'm so looking forward to the banter between Anna and Gerald. Anna's from New Zealand. She's taken lots of my classes and I really, really enjoy spending time with her. Gerald also has been in a few of my classes and he is so animated and full of life. Some of you might know him as Tarot Stash or the Hermit's Mage. And so the 3 of us will be doing live readings tomorrow, Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific. And Sunday, I will be back on in the afternoon at 2 p.m. Pacific to do Color with Me too. And I'm going to talk and pull out all the rainbow and talk about chakra colors and energy as I'm coloring on Sunday. So thank you so much for being here today. And if I missed anything in the chat, please know that I will look back. see what I missed. I see there's one comment about the Tildwick here. Let's go to that. I just tried Tildwick and illuminated, and I have to thank you. Okay, good. So perhaps I'm just thinking because of the title, the faceted garden might, what did you say? I had not connected with illuminated as much as faceted garden. Okay, good. Good, good, good. I'm glad that that worked out for you. Oops, I can't get the emoji to work. Let me know, and you can send me a message if that's not working. Hi, Dee. I am just signing off. Yeah, just signing off. So you can watch the replay if you like, and I'll be back tomorrow doing live readings if you want to be in the chat tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific. Okay, namaste. Have a lovely weekend, everybody, and take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye for now.